Chairman, let me thank you for your leadership of the committee throughout this year, but particularly in this confirmation process. I think everybody's had the opportunity to make their views very well known, unfettered way, and that process should be reassuring to the American people. So thank you for your leadership. And let me also say I don't envy Chairman Bernanke's difficult position. He's served in what can only be referred to as one of the hottest seats in American government for the last year, making some of the toughest decisions that have come before the country in probably well over a generation, shielding himself from what has become a populist attack from both sides of the aisle. Faced with an economy that was headed into the abyss, Chairman Bernanke and the Fed had what appeared to be a series of Hobson's choices. Take it or leave it, do something or do nothing. And I think we hopefully can all agree that doing nothing was not an option. Whatever other disagreements we may have had, Chairman Bernanke took forceful action at a pivotal moment when the economy could have fallen off a cliff. There may be some legitimate debate about changing the tools the Fed has, as well as debate about the choices Chairman Bernanke made. We could debate both of those issues, and I know, Mr. Chairman, in the coming months we will continue to do so. But I believe in the end what we should not do is change leadership at the Fed at what appears to be the very beginning of an economic recovery. Having said that, I do believe there's more the Fed could have done to mitigate the housing bubble, supervise the banks, enact consumer protections, and provide credit to small businesses. I believe, and Chairman Bernanke admitted himself, he could have done more to mitigate risk and require higher capital standards. But at the same time, I do believe at this point we are better served by someone who has learned from those experiences, someone who did bring us back from the brink of a depression. I remember, Mr. Chairman, November of 2008, after having been told that everything was fine in the economy, and then that fateful meeting with the chairman and then Secretary Paulson saying, painting a pretty dire picture and saying that if we did not act between 3 and 4 weeks, that we would have a global economic meltdown, a global economic meltdown. And you know, we constantly say now that we have the worst economy since the Great Depression. There are some who have short-term memory as to how that all came about, but the reality is we've also undermined what that means. I don't think the American people know how close we were to the brink of a major economic collapse in this country. That's what this president inherited. That's what Chairman Bernanke was dealing with. And so, as someone who made decisions that we can equivocate with maybe, but he did bring us back from the brink of a depression. And with these experiences, I think he can steer us to fiscal policy that not only is safe harbor, but sails towards economic growth. Having said that, in the future, I hope the Fed will be more responsive to the needs of Main Street in America, where there is small businesses developing something, selling something, innovating, creating the new products and jobs of the 21st century. I expect it will be more vigilant to prevent a repeat of the economic crisis we've experienced, and will get ahead of the next problems we will face, such as commercial mortgage market and credit card defaults. So it is with that expectation, Mr. Chairman, that I will vote for confirmation. I think he did what we needed at a time of crisis. I think he has learned from those experiences. And the final point I'll make, Mr. Chairman, which you have done and which needs to be a constant effort of this committee, is that whenever we have a regulator, whether it be the Fed or anyone else, it needs the oversight of Congress to make sure that the laws we pass and that they are enforced to regulate, that ultimately that we are at their heels making sure that that enforcement takes place. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.